Live from the CBS Bay Area studios, this is KPIX 5 News.
I moved here because I thought this was a safe city, but I mean, it is for the most part.
Now at 11, police in Fremont investigating the city's first homicide since 2015 and tonight. They think they found the killers. Good evening, I'm Brian Hackney.
And I'm Juliette Goodrich. The deadly shooting happened late last night at the Extended Stay America on Farwell Place. KPIX 5's Betty Yu has the details.
Fremont police officers were first called to this Extended Stay America a little after 11:30 last night. Someone had called police to report a man with an apparent gunshot wound in the lobby. Tonight, police arrested 3 people in connection with the city's first homicide in 2 years. Investigators found evidence of a crime inside one of the hotel rooms.
For public safety purposes, I want people to know that this does not appear to be a random act. There is some type of relationship. Again, I'm not going to disclose the details of that, but there does seem to be an indication that these people knew each other. When police showed up, they found the man just outside the lobby. Paramedics rushed him to a trauma center where he died from his injuries. The victim is a 48-year-old man who lived in Fremont.
I came out this morning and tried to come out this door, and there was a bunch of cops blocking the door, and it was all roped off from here to there.
Hotel guests who spoke with police tell KPIX 5 the shooting happened on the second floor of the hotel's Building B, and the victim ran to the main building with the lobby to get help. Police are looking at surveillance video that may help them in their investigation. This longtime hotel guest says that the grounds don't exactly make him feel safe.
We constantly have people breaking into our cars, stealing tools. That building's actually, we keep complaining about it, but there's hookers that come in and out of that. They come in and out of there all the time, and drug dealers and stuff like that keep us up all hours of the night.
It's crazy. I moved here because I thought this was a safe city, but I mean, it is for the most part.
In Fremont, Betty Yu, KPIX 5.
Right now, Vallejo police are looking for a driver who ran down 2 small children and took off. They were run over at about 6 o'clock tonight near the Century Theater at the Gateway Plaza. The boy and girl were both airlifted to Children's Hospital in Oakland. Police say both kids were unconscious when they were taken away. We're still waiting for an update on their condition. So far, police have not released a description of the car that hit them.
Well, new tonight, some animal activists are facing charges after breaking into a Bay Area butcher shop. The group says they were rescuing live animals from abuse, but KPIX 5 Joe Vasquez shows us the shop says it's doing nothing wrong.
A large crowd gathers around a family-owned butcher shop in Oakland. Police lead dozens of activists out in handcuffs.
We love you! We did not commit a crime. The real crime is happening when animals are being hurt.
The group, Direct Action Everywhere, stormed the shop this afternoon, began taking animals out of cages and walking out of the store with them.
When we walk inside of this place, we can see that these animals feel pain, just like us. You know, they cry. These birds, when they're being taken to slaughter, you can hear their screams.
They took off with a quail, a rabbit, and a lamb. They say they are taking the animals to a vet, but won't tell us which one. Police detained 22 activists and cited them for trespassing.
It's time to confront the issue of speciesism and that recognizing other animals as individuals that they are.
Did you say speciesism?
Yes, speciesism.
The owner was not available, but a family member told reporters he believes his establishment is being unfairly targeted.
My cousin, he called us, he said they came there to take the sheep out. They want to free the animals like we are in like we are not in America. What is this? No respect for us, no respect for our business.
A family from Yemen runs the shop. They insist they are following all the county codes about preparing food. In some cases, they are slaughtering live animals according to Muslim dietary law. Are you attacking their way of life when it is a culture that is already under siege?
Absolutely not, because the activists who led this action are from these communities, and we strongly believe that our culture promotes compassion, not violence towards animals.
Joe Vasquez, KPIX 5.
We're just hours away from the trial for the man accused of killing Kate Steinle. Jose Inez Garcia Zarate is accused of shooting the 32-year-old on San Francisco's Embarcadero in July of 2015. He was wanted for deportation by federal agents at the time. According to the San Jose Mercury News, 3 immigrants are among the 12 jurors selected in the case. The crime drew national attention to the sanctuary city debate. Opening statements get underway tomorrow at 10 in the morning.
A highway that was closed because of the Tubbs fire is open again tonight. State Route 29 connects Calistoga with Lake County to the north. That same fire devastated several neighborhoods in Santa Rosa, including Fountain Grove. But one part was spared after a few residents fought back the flames themselves. KPIX 5's Katie Nilsson shows us how it happened.
It's starting to burn into these trees right here on the left side of the road.
This is the site Bill Holbrow and his Lomita Heights neighbors woke up to that fateful Monday morning.
You know what? No water's going to save us.
A massive wall of flames consuming homes on Bella Vista and heading straight for their neighborhood.
It was getting crazy and it was getting really scary.
Bill says a Santa Rosa fire truck came through the neighborhood, but the firefighters said they couldn't help. They were only there to tell everyone, get out. And that's when Bill saw a contractor's water truck driving by and flagged down the driver.
And I said, hey, you know, we got some houses over in this area that can still be saved. Can you guys come down here? Which they did.
Bill and the two guys in the water truck spent 6 hours dumping water on the hillside and ravine.
We just sprayed everything that we could that was on fire in the area.
They only stopped for 15 minutes at a time to go to a nearby fire hydrant and refill the truck's water tank.
It was scary, but I just thought, you know, if as long as the flames are behind us and we can keep them behind us, we have a chance.
With one water truck and lots of blind determination, the winds shifted, the fires passed, and Lomita Heights was still standing.
There's so much talk about the heroism of our paid responders, and there's no doubt that they are heroic. But when citizens, when your neighbors take that same kind of danger into their own hands, it's a step beyond, I think. It's even more heroic.
But Bill doesn't consider himself a hero.
I don't feel like a hero. I just feel, you know, I feel thankful that our whole subdivision, our whole neighborhood was able to survive this.
Everyone we spoke with today said they just feel lucky to have neighbors like Bill because they know that without people like him, their neighborhood could have looked much like this. In Fountain Grove, Katie Nielsen, KPIX 5.
In Santa Cruz County, firefighters are making more headway against the Bear Fire, which is now 79% contained. It's up from just 50% yesterday. The size of the burn area is stated about 400 acres. The flames broke out about a week ago and destroyed 4 buildings. Evacuation orders are still in effect along several roads in the Santa Cruz Mountains.
President Trump is defending his chief of staff, General John Kelly. That's after Kelly stepped into the spotlight to talk about Mr. Trump's condolence call to the widow of a fallen soldier. CBS correspondent Errol Barnett shows us what the president said today.
These are very, very hard calls. They're sad.
President Trump shared how challenging it is to call grieving relatives of fallen soldiers. The president rejected the accusation by Florida Congresswoman Frederica Wilson that Chief of Staff John Kelly defended Mr. Trump to keep his position in the White House.
He doesn't need this job. In fact, he didn't really want this job.
The past week's controversy between a Gold Star family and the White House comes as the president aims for his first major legislative win. He is now optimistic his tax plan will pass soon.
It'll be the biggest cuts ever in the history of this country.
Fueling his confidence, the Republican-controlled Senate passed a budget this week, which the House is expected to take up in the coming days. The president's budget director, Mick Mulvaney, says that is crucial.
We have to start keeping our promises, but passing this budget this week, which is the next step and an absolutely critical step to get tax reform, was a big step forward in keeping that promise.
In addition to tax reform, President Trump remains focused on health care.
We're going to repeal and replace Obamacare. And I think we actually have the votes.
But the only health care legislation supported by Democrats, like Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, is the Alexander Murray bill, which keeps government subsidy payments to the states intact.
Look, this is a good compromise. It took months to work out. It has a majority. It has 60 senators supporting it. We have all 48 Democrats, 12 Republicans. I would urge Senator McConnell to put it on the floor immediately.
Now, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said he would bring any health care legislation up for a vote if it were clear the president supported it. But President Trump has not fully endorsed the Alexander Murray bill. Errol Barnett, CBS News, the White House.
Well, tonight's halftime ceremony at Levi's Stadium honored legendary 49er Dwight Clark. Clark suffers from amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, a neuromuscular disease, and today the team brought more than 30 of Clark's teammates onto the field, including Joe Montana.
I got the honor of introducing someone today who really doesn't need any introduction.
Clark was not able to join his former teammates on the field, but he did speak from a luxury suite where he watched the game.
When Keena Turner asked me what I wanted to do we want to raise money or have some kind of function, I said, I just want to see my teammates.
There will be much more on Dwight Clark and highlights from today's game coming up next on Game Day.
And still to come, it was like a scene from the Fast and Furious, how police in the South Bay were able to break up this dangerous freeway sideshow.
Plus, the massive nationwide veggie recall from a company out of Salinas. The products to avoid and where they're sold.
The love and appreciation of this community, it's just going to live with them forever.
Plus, after a 2-week battle, Santa Rosa residents say thank you to out-of-town firefighters who are finally heading home.
And we're heading into warmer times in the Bay Area as we look over that beautiful shot of the Bay Bridge from Sutrocam. We've got the forecast coming up after a break.
Well, that was the scene in San Jose overnight. Drivers spinning donuts on a busy freeway before police shut down the sideshow. KPIX5's Kit Doe shows us how police caught up with some of the culprits.
The dash cam footage hints at the brewing chaos. The traffic comes to a complete stop across all the lanes and both shoulders as well. A man jumps out and climbs onto the concrete divider for a stroll, while another one tags it, all with the San Jose skyline in the background. And then it happens. A Mazda Miata spins a few donuts while onlookers shoot video with their cell phone cameras. Look closely as the driver almost hits one of the participants, and it ends just as quickly as it begins. Police arrive in force and surround the area. As the cars speed off, listen as someone throws a glass bottle at the photographer.
And police did not have to do much to arrest at least one of the suspects. That's because his buddies took off without him and left him out here on foot.
It's unclear how many cars were involved, but several dozen were captured on video fleeing the area. Officers shut down multiple intersections and successfully cornered several drivers about 2 miles away on Brokaw Road. It was a group effort as the CHP and Santa Clara County Sheriff's deputies questioned, detained, and cited several racers. All told, San Jose police themselves also issued 7 citations and impounded 4 cars. In San Jose, Kit Doe, KPIX5.
New tonight, a produce company from Salinas is now pulling their products from store shelves across the country. Man Packing issued a recall because of listeria concerns. There are dozens of salad mixes and salad bowls, and vegetable varieties are involved. They were sold under different brand names. The products were sold at Walmart and Safeway and Trader Joe's. They all had best if used by dates from October 11th to October 20th. So far, there have been no illnesses reported from any of those products.
It's been exactly 2 weeks now since the wine country wildfires devastated the North Bay, and tonight, thousands of out-of-town firefighters are finally heading home. KPIX5's John Ramus was in Santa Rosa today, where the community sent them off with a hero's farewell.
The job of fighting a wildland fire isn't an easy one.
Because you don't get that much sleep when there's a big, huge fire like this one.
Nor is it particularly glamorous, but it does come with one huge perk. Everyone is so darned happy to see you show up. Today, a small group of Santa Rosans, organized through Facebook, gathered at the Sonoma Fairgrounds Fire Headquarters to give a grateful farewell to crews as they begin to head back home.
Going into this job, you know, it's a special job. You know, it's going to test you, but things like this definitely make it worthwhile.
They've been doing this for 3 days now, and it's clear it means a lot to the firefighters.
The love and appreciation of this community, it's just going to live with them forever.
The public, they're so nice, but like I said, at the end of the day, I'm sure all the folks here can agree, it's just our job.
That may be true, but there's something about seeing a firefighter show up in your hour of need. It's not the same as calling a plumber.
They're risking their lives for our lives. They're leaving their families for weeks at a time to come here and help our families live and our community. So we have something to live for.
We use the word hero a lot, probably more than we should, but ask someone whose house is still standing and they won't give you much of an argument. That's why veteran Vince Pavon stood on a street corner for 4 hours, offering a lone salute to each fire truck as it rumbled past.
Some of them, the first week of the fire didn't go off the lines for 70 hours. And now that they're starting to roll out, I just want to tell them all thank you. Thanks for coming, protecting our city.
In Santa Rosa, John Ramos, KPIX5.
Tonight the winds are actually picking up. Remember, it was 2 weeks ago tonight the winds picked up to catastrophic levels. That is not happening tonight. But on a much smaller scale, it will be windy a bit overnight, up to about 25 miles an hour, and favoring the higher elevations again. You can see the futurecast wind gusts. This is tomorrow morning at 7. A lot of the winds are confined to the Central Valley, but in the upper elevations, up above Calistoga and St. Helena, it'll be windy. Tonight, Mount Diablo had a gust to 35 miles an hour, and it is out of the east, so there are dry winds again tonight. There's no red flag warnings posted, but the winds will abate by tomorrow afternoon before kicking up briefly again tomorrow night. So a little bit windy in the overnight hours at the higher elevations. And the temperatures are going to warm as well. The highs got up into the 70s for the most part in the Bay Area. It'll get warmer from there, though. As we look live toward the Bay Bridge right now, Concord's got 60 degrees. In Oakland, it's 56. San Francisco, 62 degrees. And in San Jose, 61. Santa Rosa, 64. And here's how it looks from high atop the West Coast. Sunny and warmer for the Bay Area tomorrow. As that high pressure begins to build, the numbers follow suit, and they will be in the 80s just about bay-wide tomorrow. Sunny and warmer tomorrow. Temperatures peak in the 90s in the warmest spots inland on Tuesday, and then we'll begin to cool it off, as you'll see in a minute. Overnight lows tonight will be in the upper 50s. Sun up on your Monday morning, 7:25 a.m. And here are the numbers now. Well above average at, for instance, Concord at 85. That's 9 degrees above average. Down in the South Bay, pick a city. Numbers will be in the 80s. For the most part, at the beach, the numbers will be in the 70s. Over in the East Bay, 80s will do it. And same thing is true for Marin County. Up in Sonoma County, 91 degrees at Santa Rosa, 87 for Petaluma. And at the shoreline, numbers will be in the 70s. Plenty warm in Ukiah and Cloverdale, both above 90 degrees tomorrow. Standard forecast, we're going to be looking for the numbers to climb until they peak on Tuesday. And then as the week goes on, the temperatures begin to ebb slightly down into the mid-80s. In general, it'll be a warm and dry week. Rain, there's no hint of it. Juliet?
Well, still to come, Brian, it's the new YouTube channel dedicated to a four-legged hero in the North Bay, the herd he protected during the raging wine country wildfires.
People are dying in California because we do not have affordable health care coverage.
Plus, the debate over health care coverage in California as the candidates for governor go head-to-head on stage.
I'm Dennis O'Donnell. Coming up next on Game Day, the emotional halftime ceremony honoring Dwight Clark.
I think you all know I'm going through a little thing right now.
It is being called the best book ever written about Al Davis. I can tell you, it's the most revealing.
I'm sure I wouldn't have written this book if he was still alive.
And at least there is one Bay Area team headed to the postseason. Game Day right around the corner.
Well, politicians looking to replace Governor Brown took questions today at a candidates forum in Anaheim.
Single-payer health care was one of the main issues. KPIX5 political reporter Melissa Kane shows us the disagreements.
Plenty of sound, but very little fury at today's forum of candidates for governor. The National Union of Healthcare Workers hosted the event, and moderator John Donvan spoke with union president Sauerzelli before the event began.
Where are the Republicans today?
John, you know, we invited them. They didn't respond. We wish they were here, frankly.
The candidates that did attend were State Treasurer John Chung, former Education Superintendent Delane Easton, Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom, and former Los Angeles Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa. The 4 Democrats didn't disagree on much, but on one topic they did not see eye to eye: single-payer health care. Newsom and Easton were all for it.
Single payer is the way to go.
People are dying in California because we do not have affordable health care coverage.
Villaraigosa said he supports the concept of single payer, but the state would still need permission from the federal government to do it. And even then, there's still no plan for how to do it.
You can't just say, I want pie in the sky, because that doesn't put food on people's tables. So what I would do as governor is to create a public option that allows people to buy into Medicare.
Chung said there's much we don't know, so the state should not do a massive overhaul of health care all at once.
We don't have to go all in to provide all the services all at once. Let's make sure that what we're implementing, we can scale up appropriately and show its effectiveness in the program.
When asked about the plan for single payer, Easton and Newsom said, where there's a will, there's a way.
We have to put our shoulder to the wheel and figure out how we're going to do this. And we can. It could be gross receipts tax plus partial income tax. I'm not sure exactly, but it's doable, and we can do it if we put our minds to it.
It's a question of demonstrable leadership. I'm not going to wait around for the debate to unfold in Washington, D.C. Sure, I support Medicare for all, but you've got to shape the debate in California.
But Villaraigosa said it's not good to get people's hopes up.
What I'll never do is sell you snake oil. The fact of the matter is, we don't have a plan yet.
Melissa Kane, KPIX 5.
And coming up next, he protected a herd of goats during the height of the wine country wildfires. Now, this dog has its own YouTube channel. We'll show you next. A dog from the North Bay is racking up more followers than I will have in a lifetime on his new YouTube channel. Why?
Well, you see the 2 white dogs there. The one that has the ragged fur is Odin. Well, when the Tubbs fire broke out 2 weeks ago, his family had to evacuate, but Odin refused to abandon the herd of goats that he protects every day. So the family had to leave him behind.
This breed of dog doesn't do tricks. They're livestock guardians. So he sat down and said, I'm not going anywhere. So I said, okay, Odie, you take care of them. We'll be back for you. And I went and opened all the gates to the pasture that they were in.
Oh. Well, days later, the family found Odin with singed hair still watching the herd. His owners say the Great Pyrenees is still looking a little disheveled, but he's looking better and better every day. Odin and the herd were moved to an animal sanctuary in Santa Rosa, where the family makes plans to rebuild. Meanwhile, Odin is building quite a following on his new YouTube channel called Odin the Hero Dog. Love it.
And we'll be right back.
Yeah. We want to thank you so much for watching. Game day is coming up next.
Don't forget, it's going to warm up into the low 90s this week. How do I know that? News and weather updates always on CBSSF.com. Have a good week.